Hi guys, so we are taking the carb back off. Got the tank off, don't know what I'm going to do with that. Either replace it or weld it up. See what happens. Hopefully if we're going to weld it we don't blow ourselves to smithereens. But for now we're going to take the carburetor off, which means we need to come around here to undo this little guy. And if you can see it in there. There it is. That'll loosen him right off. And then there's a bit of a trick to it. I'll have to disconnect the throttle and the choke cable and then pull it out and then rotate it, the front of it to the right and then, rotate the front of it to the left and then pull it out. Alright, see you on the other side. Alright guys, excuse me. So we've got the carb out. No worries, jazza wazza. And we've stuffed the rag back in there, nice and tight. And we'll cover it back up, pull the carb apart, measure it up. But I think I can order a second-hand one for about $130. That's not too bad. And I'll probably rebuild that one. Use the parts out of this if it needs any. Because this float and bowl seem pretty much brand new, even though the posts for the float bowl are totally mangled, and that's why I need to get rid of it because it won't be reliable at all, and it's definitely not working properly at the moment. So yeah, sweet, I'll give you another look when I've pulled it apart, show you the insides. Bye for now. Alright, so let's measure it up because somebody wanted to know what the size was. It's very difficult to do all this with one hand, so put that down there-ish. And hopefully that's halfway decent angle for you. Alright, so overall height, not including the little drain, is 131 millimeters tall. And the widest point overall, 66.9, 67 mil wide. Now, this is an important one. From outlet to inlet width, 107 mil from the outside to the inside. 107 millimeters. Intake throat, so the air filter side of the carburetor. 45 millimeters internal, 50 millimeters external diameters, and then the engine side, it's tiny. The throat is 25 mil internal, and external is 34 mil. So I hope that helps anyone who's looking for those dimensions. And if you're going to put a carb that is not something that's not stock into the AG200, anything much bigger than what is standard, you're going to struggle with, particularly if it's if it's taller, because the suspension spring is right there above the carb. So those non-diaphragm ones that have a cable coming straight up the top of the carb, I was thinking about using one of them, but I don't think I will because I don't reckon you'd clear the suspension. I don't think it would work. Maybe if you got one with like a 90-degree bend, but I didn't see many of those on eBay. So anyway, open it up. And you guys can see in the bowl, it's pretty clean. It's got scratch marks that say someone's cleaned this out. I reckon someone serviced it. Somehow, while they were doing it, managed to break. You can't break that and glue it back on with what's that stuff called? JB Weld, I reckon it is. And they've also snapped off that end there. So that's just like flapping in the breeze there. And that's why I think I need a new carb, because the way it was playing up, it seemed to let the bowl fill up once, ran for a little while, and yeah, see, it jams, it sort of doesn't want to, yeah, it's a bit sticky. it's not actually pivoting on the pinion is turning, and inside there, which you can't see because this is just on my phone and it's never going to focus like that, especially in this light. Anyway, inside there, around the pinion, between this part of the float and the actual pinion, is a really thin piece of like copper or something like that that's been wrapped around there to tighten up the fitting. I don't know why they would have done that, but anyway, so it's all a bit sketchy and unreliable. So I think I'm much better off getting a new carb for the sake of non-broken bits here. And the, what's it called? This thing that like lets the fuel come through. The needle. The needle and seat look brand new. So maybe just like swap that over to the new one. And whatever jets I might need, see what's like on the top of this, blah blah blah. And see how it goes. Hopefully we can get something running. Because that motor seemed to run quite well. It was a bit smoky, but I reckon that's just, it's been sitting for probably years without turning over, so it's going to be smoky. It seemed a pretty good compression. And I suppose at the end of the day it's a little single 200cc, so it's probably not that hard, presuming you can get the parts reasonably easily. You know, put new rings and or lap the valves and whatever, so yeah. So anyway, that's the carb. This doesn't work too good, so I reckon that's real slow. It's not terrible, but it was slower than that before. Anyway, it's alright. So yeah, there it is. That is the carb.